A calendar of recent 5 city events, 5 decades, 7 piece circa. Many farms are burned by hollowing farmers, bovines fell fallow and were slaughtered. 6 hosts rode and have returned with hunted souls, begging for death and dreaming of the Tin Man.
Hello, my friends. I hope you're all doing very, very well. Today we're going to be doing day 28. Oh, Jesus Christ, we're very close to the end here. But first, what are we near the end of? On the 20th of March, a game company called Absolute Tabletop decided that it would be a fantastic idea to post a Kickstarter. Now, you don't need to know that much about the Kickstarter. They've finished, they've reached their goal, and they're going to be hitting their newest stretch goal pretty soon, I think. But in any case, part of the whole thing of it was putting up a hashtag, My30Day World. It's one of those challenge systems where all you just do is you get 30 questions, you answer one a day for 30 days. You don't even have to do that. You can answer as many as you want. You can answer them however you want. It's any medium that you wish. I chose to be YouTube videos because I like the idea. I want to get on with the skills of learning how to do YouTube videos, and I encourage all of you to do the same. But onwards to the question of today. For the 16th of April 2018, what character would you play in your own world? So this one's going to be a lot shorter than usual. And it's not going to be as intellectual as usual because it's more going to go into my preferences and everything like that, as opposed to some grand design that I had for things. Honestly, it's going to be more about what kind of campaign is being run as opposed to anything else. I mean, there are some things that I would like to try, yes. For instance, I used to have a rule which was that I would only play male characters. Nowadays, I'm actually becoming a lot more interested in playing female characters, trying to get that idea. And really, I would like to extend that into this world, into Talum. But really, I'm not interested in creating a character that's not going to mesh well with the campaign and the other players. I'm more of a team player type person, somebody who's an enabler in everything. So, taking into account what's going on, as far as I understand it, Talum has 3 different kinds of campaign. The first is a nautical campaign going into exploration of places that are outside the norm. The second is more of a role-playing campaign where people go to place to place, kind of doing good deeds, and it's much more of a rollicking, adventuring type. And the third one is going to very basically be a very politically charged one, possibly located in one of the 5 free cities, or maybe the invasion of a Maidenite or someone from the Finger Point trying to impose themselves on one of the 5 free cities. Taking all of those into account, I would want to play in the nautical game. I'd like to play a sailor, possibly the sawbones of the crew, or maybe the quartermaster. I like being kind of involved in the nitty-gritty of dealing with quartermastering, inventories and stuff like that. I'm just that much of a weirdo. At the same time, I like being very useful to the crew, so actually being a medic would be very important to me. In the second case, that being more of an exploration, role-play place where we go from place to place as an adventure-type system, I would be very interested in playing a female person of the plains. Mainly because I want to explore some of the more shamanistic side of things and use some of the animism that I've been reading up in books recently, but also because I'm very interested in the class dynamic and the undertone of racism that is present. The peoples of the plains are kind of seen as the scapegoat of the 5 free cities. If there's ever a problem, they kind of pop it down to them and say anything. And as a result, when I was talking about misunderstood races, I kind of propped them up saying, this is kind of the one that could be the most misunderstood. And I'd be very interested to see what a game master would do when given racism and sexism to deal with. I'd be interested to see how they would consume and proffer those ideals to me when I'm the person who made the world. Finally, there is a politically based one, the one that's more of the urban situations positioned in one of the free cities. No matter which city was chosen, I would like to be a member of the nobility. One of my favourite parts of playing these kind of games is playing someone who has a very different set of ideals, a different set of morality to me. One example of this is a previous character that I play that everybody who plays with me kind of knows about, because this is the definitive character that I've played with. This person I've played with since 2012, so quite a while, 6 years now. This person is called Zachary, an exiled prince from a far-off land, recently returned home and overthrew his brother in order to take their place. I would really like to continue to play that kind of idea, but from another direction. In Zachary, I have somebody who is kind of the definition of the first amongst equals kind of king. What I would be interested in doing is playing kind of a Machiavellian noble, somebody who has achieved their nobility via their accident of birth, somebody who believes that it is their right to rule, as opposed to Zachary, who believes it is their privilege, their duty to rule. And that's my answer, and I'm very interested in finding out. In that last case, when I was saying I want to play a high-end noble, and possibly even like the Crown Prince or even the King, would you, as a game master, let me? Comment downstairs, but if you're not really interested in doing that, give me a like if you'd let it. Give me a dislike if you don't. It doesn't matter if it's disliked or liked or blah, 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 blah. It doesn't matter. Just do it. I'm interested to see who would actually let that kind of go through. It really does strike me as interesting. What kind of player would you like to be? What kind of character would you make in a game? For the sake of it, I will actually tell you all three again. So the first one is a naval game where you'd be going out into the grand unknown. The second one is going to be more of an exploration and role-play game where you go from place to place. You decide where you go, but you'll be meeting new people as you go. And the last one is going to be a very relatively small, located in one of the 5 free cities, and would be very politically charged, very much involved in the ins and outs of the game. So yeah, that's my gig. Thanks very much, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Ciao!